Hello world, welcome back to whatever this is, and once again we are joined with Ken and Yaro, aka Kenya. Yes sir. Our first episode was 2 weeks ago when we reviewed the incident with Jayrello, who is a self-proclaimed passport bro, but upon further investigation we found out that he was just a straight up criminal. We covered some of the things that he did, some of the things that he said, and there was a lot of feedback from the community watching us, which we greatly appreciate, but a lot of it was negative considering the guy was committing crimes here in Kenya. And we don't want to just cover the negative aspects of the African American community moving here back home to Kenya. So we thought it would be beneficial for both parties to start covering the people who are moving here in the right way. And there are many more people who are moving here to bring value than those who are moving here to cause a fracas. Personally, I've interacted with some African Americans who have moved here to Kenya. Have you?
Yes, I have. And my interaction with them was at a watch party where we were watching the election in America. And I found out that there are really people who are willing to invest in what they find value in. I was honored to meet them and look at their views in moving to Kenya. And yeah,
and there's been a lot of concern in the comments of the videos we've been posting about people being wary that these guys are coming with a much bigger capital than the locals and they might buy us out of our own infrastructure. But that's just a fraction of the full picture.
Sure.
If we look at other characters that are coming into Kenya, we see many of them bringing value, promoting local businesses and hiring locals in their own businesses. So we felt that that's a much better picture to cover so that we can also lessen any concern from the locals with regard to whether these people are coming here to bring more value or take from us. One African American content creator that I've been watching a lot in the last couple of weeks is Traverse Culture. I think she calls herself Kia Wakesho, if I'm not wrong. Wakesho being a Christian name given to her upon moving to Kenya. Fun fact, Wakesho is a Taita name, and I am of Taita descent. My Taita name is a bit of a tongue twister. It's Mwalwala, but Wakesho is a very common female Taita name, and it basically means blessings that are coming tomorrow in the future. Where we are shooting this video right now is the home of the Taita tribe. We are in Taita Taveta County, Voi town to be specific. So this is literally the motherland of all Wakeshos. So it's very fitting that someone who was given the name Wakesho is bringing so much value to Kenya based on this company that she started, where she's bringing African Americans legally in the right way, facilitating all the documentation they need, all the visas they need to get into the country with a soft landing, and easily identify areas where they can bring value to our country. Have you seen any content from Wakesho?
I actually have. When she started the company Traverse Kenya, there was a lot of skepticism about it, especially with the way you said people are worried that they come with the capital and take over the economy. But looking at the work that she does, I think it's more of a benefit because even in her local tourist plans, she makes sure that she has local places to stay, local guides, local foods, and I think that's a great thing.
Yeah, so without further ado, we're gonna just start seeing some of the content she's put out there, see whether our assumption is true, whether she's bringing value or whether she's just being extractive. So let's get right into it.
I'm leaving America and moving to Kenya. As you all may know, I started this process 6 months ago to sell my house. The day finally came. We sold everything in the house to one buyer and got all of the furniture out. This process has been long and drawn out of relocating, not gonna lie. Here I am, cleaning up the home, preparing it for the new buyers. And I must say that leaving my home was very emotional. I cried like a baby. I've been in the house for 10 years, but we made it to closing, and now the process begins of me relocating to Kenya. I want you all to follow the journey on our YouTube page at Trevor's Culture so you can see my journey of relocating to Kenya. Peace.
That's awesome. From this video, we can see that she had basically a solid life in America. It looks like she shared this house with her family, her kids maybe. From what I've heard, I think she was in the military before, so she's had a little experience traveling the world, and she chose Kenya as a place to move to. What do you think about that?
I also think the way she says it's emotional for her moving. I'm sure even for the kids, it's all they knew. America is all they knew probably. And moving to a new country, leaving everything behind feels a bit too much to hold. And yeah, I would also cry personally. So yeah.
Also, we've seen people of different ages move to Kenya. We've seen people in their 20s, we've seen people in their 60s. It shows that this country is accommodating enough for all ages. You can come here whether you're 20-year-old starting your adult life and find something to do. It can be a safe haven for the retirees as well. So that's kind of refreshing to see. Let's continue seeing what more she's posted on her page.
Touch 4 times. Evie. 1, 2, Evie. 3, 4. Evie. 3, 4. Evie. Now done. Aya, we now to me. May you be healed, may you be blessed, may you be. Where you go today? Whatever that is you're suffering from, then be blessed so much.
Not only is she making the move to Kenya, she's thoroughly integrating herself into the Kenyan local culture. Although this is a Kisii lady, blessing her.
102 years old.
102. Yeah. She looks young though, right? She's moving here very intentionally. She's not just coming here like a tourist. She's thoroughly integrating herself into the local culture. Going to the extent of going to Kisii to be blessed by, I don't know if this is from a mutual connection.
Probably.
Yeah, but this is very impressive, considering most guys just come here, go to the clubs.
Go on
safari and call it a night. But she's going all the way to the mashinani,
grassroots,
to the grassroots. Yeah. So that's very refreshing to see.
And I also think the way she's integrating to culture. When people come here, it's usually just a filtered safari, bits of it. You don't really get into the deeds. And seeing the way she's also, getting the blessings from the elder. These are some cultures that I think it's also good to understand, because there has been the whole misinformation and differences due to slavery and moving. Sometimes they don't understand why we do the things we do. And seeing how she's also accepting of it and not making it seem like it's something big and terrifying is also a good thing.
Yeah, another thing I noticed in the comments is many Kenyans aren't aware that some slaves who made it to America actually have Kenyan descent. The slave trade was a lot more connected throughout Africa than people think. It's not just the West African countries that provided slaves. There was a lot of trade happening from these coasts into the West coasts throughout Central Africa. And there was a lot of movement, not just slaves that were ferried by the Portuguese before the British colonies, but there was also trade between British colonies in East Africa and British colonies in West Africa. Personally, I've seen at least 2 African Americans who have a low percentage amount of Kenyan DNA in their genetics. So to dispel some of the narrative I've seen in the comments that these people have no Kenyan heritage, I think that's false. It might not be as much as West Africa, but there's definitely some cohorts of the African American diaspora that have a slight percentage of Kenyan DNA in their heritage. So it's good to see that even though she's connecting with a different tribe from her given name, the Kisii, it's good to see that she's connecting at such a deep level that she's at the ground receiving native blessings from this 102-year-old lady. And let's continue to see the rest of our journey.
So we're ending the day for our team lunch at Jam Rock Restaurant. Now, I've already done a review a few months ago, but they have expanded since the last time I've been here. So I always want to shout out Black-owned businesses of the diaspora that's doing successful business here in Kenya. So this is authentically owned by a Jamaican, authentic Jamaican food, and it's the best food ever, y'all. And look, full bar and the music banging. Y'all see me?
That African rhythm is universal.
She got moves.
Come check out Jam Rock Restaurant and come check out the food because the food is banging. Get you some fresh coconut water, hydrate naturally, and tell them that I sent you. Tell them that Traverse Culture sent you.
I love that she's coming here with that abundance energy. You know, she's not just plugging her own business. She's going out there trying to promote other African diaspora who have made it to Kenya with their businesses, bringing value to show people that there is a lot more here than meets the eye when it comes to how we're portrayed, whether it's online or on TV. There are people coming here to start businesses, they're hiring locals, and that's amazing to see that she's trying to fight that scarcity mindset that has plagued Africa and Africans globally for generations, which is great.
Personally, as a foodie, I'm super excited for all the different type of foods we're gonna get due to the diversity we're getting.
Right? Yeah. I mean, we do have good food in Kenya, but it's the more the merrier. We love the diversity. I love going to Nairobi, and you know, now there's an option of a Jamaican cuisine. I didn't even know we have Jamaican restaurants in Kenya, so that's awesome. Lazima na
Fork and knife.
So again, she's going out of her way to show Kenyan cuisine, all the way down to the ugali toss. That's really cool. I've seen a lot of African American content making fun of how we eat with our hands as Africans. They think it's less civilized, I guess. But I think it makes the food a little bit tastier, right?
Has a bit of authenticity.
Yeah, you have
character.
You have a bigger connection to your food when it's hand to mouth as opposed to forks and knives. That's cool to see, man.
So this is the real Nairobi. Bump what you heard on TV. Stop watching US TV. Stop watching European TV. And come check it out for yourself. And the best way to do that, if you're scared, because I know some of y'all scared, but if you're scared, don't sit at home and be scared. Get on the internet. Go to tverse.com. That's TVERZE.com. Link up with Miss Kia Wakesho Simmons. Traverse will make it happen for you, just like it is for me. Because what you're looking at, this is my next home, y'all. And Kia's helping me out with them. So look her up. You won't regret it.
And in this video, you can see the caption is about healthcare. And that's also something that Kia also promotes.
Yeah.
Medical tourism.
I've heard it when it comes to cosmetic surgery, stuff like that. People flying to Turkey for their hair
And people
transplants.
going to India.
Oh, yeah. India was a big medical destination for African politicians. You know, they don't trust their own facilities, but they'll go to India. But here we are having an African American coming here to, first of all, highlight that the standards here are good enough for someone to travel from abroad to come and get their medical checkup done here, which also bolsters the Kenyan medical industry. I think I saw somewhere she states that Kenya has the second, in the title, she says Kenya has the #2 ranked healthcare system in Africa. I am guessing behind South Africa or Egypt. But those are impressive statistics. I'm a Kenyan and I didn't even know that. But I have used Kenyan medical facilities, Kenyan hospitals, and I'm still here standing to tell the story. So we definitely have something of value, and it's amazing to see her share it with the world in this fashion.
And I've also seen most of the African Americans come here to do their dental care because it's extremely expensive in USA.
Oh, yeah.
And we have like great services here.
Yeah,
and also the cosmetic surgeons are also doing a great job. I've seen somebody get plastic surgery right here in Kenya, and it looks like she went to like Dr. Miami or something.
Ooh. I'm not promoting cosmetic surgery. You're born beautiful. But we do have high standard cosmetic surgeons, I think, here in Kenya. So let's continue reviewing Miss Wakesho.
We are in another house, a 2-bedroom house, and as usual, we are looking for what the CEO, Traverse Culture, is looking for. Traverse Culture is a concierge service provider that relocates people from wherever they are to Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, and wherever that you want to go and stay. So this is a 2-bedroom house. It has a dining set. It has a large living room. It has a very nice view. We are in an apartment. As you can see, it goes up to 15th or 16th floor. So it has a master's bedroom, and it is master's and suite. Very cozy, the biggest bed ever. Very luxurious. It is the house that we are choosing for her.
Oh, this is the house she moved to. Okay. She's promoting local businesses, whether they are owned by the diaspora or not. That's still good for our economy. She's promoting our local healthcare. She's promoting travel, our native cultures. Now real estate. Even though this is her apartment, but I assume she does this same service for other people who are moving to Kenya.
And I can see how, as an American or anybody moving to a different country, you are usually confused about where is the best place, what's the crime rate, what's everything. So for her offering this service to the fellow African Americans moving back, I think it's of great value, so that they won't have a bad experience moving to Kenya. So that's also a good reputation on our side.
Yeah, it's a win-win, literally. And just to add on the abundance mindset, it's so refreshing to see people building each other up. We're in a world where on social media, online, on pretty much all media, negativity sells. But it's refreshing to see that this positive movement is growing as well. It's pulling the right kind of people to Kenya. If you ask me, we will like less Jairellos and more Kia Wakeshos.
A lot of us come over here and we're very arrogant. You do have Black Americans who absolutely believe that they're better than the local Kenyans, which is absolutely ridiculous. I'm here to save Kenya because we ain't here to. Kenya don't need saving. Kenya don't need saving, which is why we come here.
That's right.
Most Kenyans look at us as the children of slaves from a derogatory point of view. So we're already coming into the situation with some kind of resentment already there. For the majority of us, we want to get away from racism. We want to get away from bigotry. We want to get away from the system of white supremacy. We want to feel like we can blend, and that's how you feel when you're here, especially in Kenya. And we want a sense of ownership, if that is an option for us. Real ownership, real generational wealth in a place where we're not judged, but we're welcome. We also don't want to be treated like outsiders. Don't give me the Mzungu prices because of my accent.
You get that?
You know what I mean? Yeah. Not no more. Because I know Hapana. Don't do me like that. I look like you. Just because I have the American accent, don't try to overprice me.
She's addressing some very deep issues here as well. You know, she's not just coming as a shallow, passive tourist. she's coming here with a deep understanding of the biases African Americans come with, also the biases that Kenyans have towards African Americans. And I like that she's addressing them head on. You know, many African Americans will call Kenyans as too forward, you know, because we don't like to cut around corners, we don't like to beat around the bush. So it's refreshing to see that level of straightforwardness coming from her, considering some African Americans might not relate too well with the straightforwardness we have here in our culture. So that's amazing to see that she's coming here with a level of understanding that will make any integration here a lot more seamless than if she just came with and misconceptions that everyone else comes with.
Sure. We are in a generation where truth matters. And talking about the truth the way she has right now, just clocking it the way it is, I think that's also bold. And yeah, this is good.
I don't think the point where she says a lot of Kenyans look at African Americans from a derogatory standpoint because they're slaves. I don't think that at all. Although there are definitely some, but we grew up on African American media. We watched African American movies. We listened to hip hop.
We dress.
We literally took in their culture as if it was ours. And that goes for all Kenyans across the board, whether you are in Nairobi, Mombasa, the big cities, or you are in like Kisii town or Voi town. It's across the board how
there's a certain influence.
Yeah, how that influence has been taken in and integrated and absorbed. We don't look at them with contempt or resentment at all. In fact, many Kenyans, I think, will aspire to be like them.
Yeah, true.
You know, they dress like them. If you are an affluent Kenyan, you see someone start to talk like them, even though you've never left the country. I don't think the resentment she's pointing out in the video is as large as maybe she made it seem, but it's definitely there to some degree.
It's your girl Kia from Traverse Culture, and I am here with Austin Holloman.
And I am proud to announce that I am officially an ambassador for the Journey Back to Eden this December. If you want to come to Kenya, you want the perfect head start, you want to be here with an expert that's been here for 14 years, and you to make the smoothest transition into the country, click the link in my bio and sign up for the Journey Back to Eden.
So these two have been pushing Kenya for African Americans for a while, very aggressively. Of course, some of that results in situations like J. Rello, but most of it results in what we've just seen on the Traverse Culture page, and I'm all for that. I also like the idea of disenfranchised African Americans coming here to find meaning for themselves. You know, these two that we've just seen, you can tell they're really passionate about directing people here to Kenya, the motherland. I would like to see more of that passion directed into now projects that mutually benefit both Kenyans and African Americans, which I'm seeing Traverse do a lot of, and I'm highly supportive of this venture of a bridge between the African American diaspora and the Kenyan locals. This is great to see.
When she's pushing for people to come to Kenya, and how she's also pushing for tourist destination and packages, they ensure that they still keep it ecological. And have you seen the video of those people who are blocking like the migration and stuff? The migration of the beast, the wild beast.
Oh yeah.
And then the
tourists.
person who also fed a tusker to.
Yeah.
So those are the things they're also addressing. Their travels, they say, are ecological, and they say leave the place better than you found it. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's a great thing as well.
I love it. It's a thriving, developing country. So it just makes sense. I mean, Kenya, most people would be surprised that Kenya has a thriving middle class, a very visible middle class, which is, I think you should be proud of. I mean, because I always tell people, our clients, when I'm educating them about Kenya, because, you know, most Americans think Kenya or Africa is a country. So Kenya must be a city in the country. I don't know. And then the whole of Africa, people still walking around with no shoes and live in a jungle. It's crazy. So when I start talking about Kenya in terms of it's being a two-tier country, it's no longer a third world country, a developing country, and it is the only black-owned country in Africa right now at this caliber.
Yeah.
At this caliber is the only, because we can't count South Africa because you have Mzungus. But here, Mzungus don't run the show. Black people run the show. And so I love it. I love it. I tease all the time. I went from being a middle class American to an upper class Kenyan in a month. So I live in a nice neighborhood.
Did you find a house, by the way? You're looking for one.
Yeah, no, I have my place. I live off a state house. I live nice.
You're living next to the president.
Right, I share the same water and light with this man. So, I'm living nice.
Did you find it very extremely expensive to have a house here?
No, where I live at, I was shocked. I was ready to sign paperwork. Like, you said, what? For this? Because something like where I live at would cost you, because where I live at would be equivalent to living in DC, right?
Yeah.
Where I live at would cost you every bit of $5,000 to $6,000
a month.
And I'm at 130K, and I think that's beyond reasonable. When he said that, I was like, oh, where do I sign? Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In all honesty, these guys are marketing our country more than any Kenyan I've ever seen. I think the Kenya Tourism Board needs to sit down with these guys, because they are literally becoming mascots for how beautiful our country is. I've never seen any Kenyan sell Kenya like that. Mm-hmm. She brings up a point, talking about how she came straight into upper middle class from moving from America, not having known that there was a large middle class population here in Kenya. What I would want to know is, how do these guys make their money? Because a lot of them, it's not like they're working here or looking for jobs. They come here already set up. I guess they have remote opportunities where they can earn wherever they are in the world. Mm-hmm. I would like more insights on what those opportunities are, because these guys are coming here with very liquid pockets, for them to be able to move right next to State House as just a random African American moving here. That's very impressive. So maybe there can be some skill sharing there, where Kenyans learn also how to earn remotely as they do, because our job economy isn't that great. We saw our president literally export labor to other countries because we can't satisfy that labor here. So that's interesting for me to see.
I love how she talks about Kenya, and like, if you were to hire a Kenyan to say this, you'd tell that it's fabricated in a way, because they have to push something they're already used to. So for her to just talk like that out of, just randomly sitting down in an interview, it's really nice to see that this is happening.
Also, the media run she's on is crazy. The number of interviews she's doing. Man, there's a lot Kenyans can learn from these people, especially Kia Wakesho herself. That's a lot of volition going behind this push to market Kenya. And it's very impressive to see. Like I said, I've not seen a Kenyan push Kenya that much. In fact, if you start pushing Kenya in that fashion as a Kenyan, you get a lot of pushback from people saying, you're giving out our secrets too much out there in the open. You're gonna make this country overpopulated. People come into that conversation with more concerns than more eye for opportunity.
Sure. I think that's a great initiative, and I'm glad that she's come to bring more value to Kenya, and not just safari and leave and just go with the whole fabricated idea of what Kenya actually is. Yeah, and great job.
I relate to a lot of the concern I see on the comments when I talk about these guys moving here, and it makes sense. We're just growing into the Kenya we want, and here people are coming wanting us to share the Kenya we want. And I get why many Kenyans might be wary, but I would urge Kenyans to see the opportunity, which is on the flip side of that coin. As much as there are threats, there are also opportunities and strengths that these people come with. I think working hand in hand with them can fill in the gaps that we ourselves as Kenyans are trying to feel when it comes to our leadership, when it comes to our economies, when it comes to being transparent with governmental procedures, because they are coming here expecting some level of partnership. We also, as Kenyans doing business with them, will get to learn how they do business. You know, maybe some areas where we weren't too transparent, they will force us to be transparent and clean up those processes so that the system works for everyone. And that's something I'm eager to see. I'm pretty sure will happen in some way, shape, or form. I'm just excited to see how that will manifest itself in the Kenyan landscape. Yeah, we thank anyone who joined us to review Traverse Culture and Kia Wakesho's move to Kenya. We would like to review more stories like this so that we show Kenyans a fuller picture of what this exodus from the rest of the world into Kenya looks like, not just the negative, but most of the positive. And if you've gotten any value from watching our content, from watching us review these African American stories, just leave a comment. Let us know what you think.
Like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, guys.
Until next time, from Kenya with love, peace.